Woo, blew that up. Alright, so hello guys, welcome to the third part of the tutorial where we're just after the cutscene. I was going to just do it after the cutscene, but I realized that this may be important for you to know just this thing here, that after you go through this, you'll mass through some text, and then you will get a money count. And that will happen right here. And you want to just like mash A and B through it all, and then mash B at the end, and that you don't save. That's important. You want to save that time, and then Luigi will ask you where you want to go again. You want to take the second option again, and then you're ready to rock. All ready to rock. So let's see, we have... Alright, we do have another planet. Now, you want to go forward and wait for the cutscene of this to go away. Remember, double doors, right? Which means we gotta go through the left door. Always the left door. Now in the hallways, this is when you utilize like your ability to use like the C-stick while walking so that you avoid being hit. Or, well, not being hit, but being scared by other ghosts in the hallway. So when you're coming through here, there really isn't a threat in this part, but once you come through, you just kind of want to walk up and you want to go upward, because this is where we're going. We're going to the bathroom, the only door that's open. You want to keep yourself in the middle here the entire time to make sure that you're not spawning any ghosts, and then here you can literally just point straight up. As long as you're not like being scared by anything, and maybe go a little bit to the right here just to make sure that this guy doesn't scare you, because there's a guy here that will spawn. Sometimes. It's most of the time a threat when you come out than it is when you come in, I think. But yeah, just want to avoid being scared in the hallway. So we're going into this door, and there's a double in this door that you can set up. You will set yourself in the back left corner of the room. That will spawn, and you will need to be grabbed and shake it off and get a double. Now you may be able to see kind of how I did that there already, but when you walk into this room, when you get grabbed, you can just point in the opposite direction and shake off with the C-stick and then get a double. If you're comfortable with the movement enough, you can also like move a little bit back and get grabbed right away. It also works, but make sure that you're always like spinning the C-stick, which I didn't explain there. You get grabbed and you spin the C-stick in a circle, and it makes it very easy shake off for you to do. And it's much harder to like get control of it if you do this. For example, let's say I don't use the C-stick, let's say I just try to shake them all. I still got it, but you see how like it could be very easy to like mess that up. When you're using the C-stick, what I can do with Luigi is I can like point in the direction I want to the entire time, and then spin the C-stick the entire time so I don't ever lose my direction change. If I'm doing the thing with the controller stick, I may get one of those situations where I like slip them and spin them the wrong way or something. Like maybe I do something like that and he ends up way over there and it's kind of slow, you know. But yeah, you just kind of want that idea. So if you're comfortable with it, you can go ahead and force the grab, or you can also do this. This is also a better way to do it as well. You can like use the vacuum as well. But we don't have to change your direction there either, if that works for you too. Alright, then you get some text, and you want to stand under this. When you're done with that double, make sure you're standing under this, so that I can go straight left. It sounds familiar when I did this earlier with a former key in the wardrobe room. Straight left, straight up, back. How's it? Same idea, except you want to move obviously a little bit down and right to the door so you get back to the door. So continuing this, you want to make sure you turn to the left here, because if I don't, I could get scared by that guy. Let's say I pretend like I don't know he's there and just go and he should show up. Maybe. Sometimes he shows up. At least it's better to prevent him from showing up, even if he doesn't want to show up. You just want to point a little bit left there, and then you just want to go straight, you'll be fine. Just pay attention to the mice on the ground, because if you get hit by the mice, you could get scared because of Luigi's animation of getting hit. He points directly down and is not looking where you want him to look anymore. So, that's a thing. So we go down and left and then into this door. This is really easy to practice whether you have emulator or not. As Shy Guy is also one of the hardest parts to do in a speedrun. But I think I'll show it first and then explain it as we go here. Just as a beginner standpoint, don't worry about scare skips here. Just, you know, turn a little bit. You can do one of two things, whatever works for you. You can either just turn and then try to get the doubles. Or you can also back to them, and I'll just do that now. I won't use this as an example. You can either turn right away, or you can move up and then move the C-stick right. So like up or right with the controller stick, and then C-stick right, so that you're like turning toward them while you're going toward them. And the Shy Guys have masks on them that you have to take off before you can flash them. So you have to take their masks off. And then you kind of want to progress yourself a little bit if you can. Obviously getting the double is the main thing. Just get the double. If you're struggling with like getting the double and progressing, just get the double. Still better than not getting the double, as I always say. And just make sure you're not as bad as Meecap. No, just you want to get the double. And then progress yourself to the next one. Getting the Shy Guy mess off. And then progress your way to the next one. Don't worry about taking a few extra seconds to make sure you got this set up for the double too. And the wig doubles kind of work in this game because it's kind of hard to not explain it. You try to be a beginner tutorial, but it's kind of hard to not explain it in this. I'll use it a little bit more for advanced everywhere, but like, if you're doing a double, the width of the flashlight is kind of the range that you have. So like, you see how it's kind of like pointed and like the light goes out. That's where your flash range kind of is to a point, so you can like use that. To an example, like you can't, like one thing you can't do is that you can't really like directly go into another Shy Guy. They have to be a little bit off center too. You can't just go directly into the guy. I was still kind of past him there. So you kind of want to be like a little bit off center or like somewhat through it. Yeah, the main thing is even just starting off, just get the doubles some type of way. It's the best thing to get a feel for, just get the doubles. And I'll explain that more in the advanced part, so if you want to see that, I'll explain that more later, but we'll just go with that. So the next guys that we have here is you have the dancers. It's the first real, like, massive part of RNG in this game, where they either just show their heart or they don't. Nothing you have to do, they just show their heart. Or they don't, and if they don't, it takes them about 10 more seconds. The only thing you need to keep in mind is make sure that you are on the spinning platform. Don't be that guy that stands over here. Like, why didn't the art show? Because the art could have show. You have to be on this platform, the spinning platform, for them to show. And I did get early release, they showed up right away. See if I can get an example of it not showing up. It may just like be manipulated by that point, to be honest. But anyway, when you're getting the dancers, you suck them up as you normally do. Oh, there you go, I didn't get early release that time. So 10 more seconds later. They'll show up. And then you'll want to progress yourself to the chest again. And you want to get the key. Always progressing yourself to the next thing. And then we go to this door here. And we will do the storage room. The first ghost that you get here, you can just do like you would do and just spin around in a circle. And try to bring yourself in this area. I'm going to explain why that is in a second, actually. I'm just going to do the rest of this room here to show what I mean. Alright, so when you would go into that part of the room and you would suck up the first ghost, you want to go back here because you want to get what's called poster skip over here. While you're waiting for the spawn of the second grabber that I had there. So you want to go literally straight left. As far up left as you can. Which this little box or bucket right here helps a lot with that. It doesn't give you many places to go. Just literally go here. Go straight left. Straight up a little bit. Just a little bit down with the C-stick. Just a little bit and you'll take it off every time. That's all you have to do, just straight up in the left corner, straight left, vacuum out, up a little bit, and you'll grab it off. Obviously I can't do it again because it's gone. Which one did I do this? Alright, there we go. Straight left. If you plant yourself right like I did there, you can just do straight left right away. But if you feel like you need to do like a little bit of left movement there, that also helps. I'm gonna explain this double. The single is pretty simple, right? I mean, obviously the single you get after the storage, after this poster skip is pretty obvious, right? So you're gonna stand like in the middle of the room, let's say like right in about this area. You see there's like a, I wish I could like not pause and see it. But there's like a kind of parallel with the button and the actually let me get rid of these guys and then I'll show it. That'll probably be better. So like you're kind of around like parallel. You see the button in the mirror, and the mirror, that's kind of where you want to be. And you want to be more towards the wall that you're looking through in the game, basically. Like this is about halfway probably, so like around this area. And then you can get like a turn double, like I was doing there. I think I should explain the simpler strat here first. The only reason why I'm explaining this one is because it can be very easily slower as it can be faster. Maybe you kind of stand into the button here, wait for him to attack, and then turn around, and you get the double. If you're struggling with that timing, which can be weird when you're first starting, there is another option you have there. A much easier option, like if you want just a straight up beginner strat. Just walk straight up left to where the bucket is and turn around. And just make sure you pull yourself back to the button. Because the grabber is so much slower that the puncher will catch up. Okay, don't get punched. Actually, let's see. Maybe there's a better place to stand for that. You know what? Actually, yeah, there probably is. I'll need to stand there to do that. If you're gonna do that for a strat, just don't stand there. Don't stand there. It's only happened because I messed it up, but just to avoid messing it up, it's like stand where the wall is or something, just turn around. And obviously I'm progressing back to the button because that button you see through the mirror there, you want to hit that button, basically. You want to hit that button so you get to the next part of the run. Where boo release happens. The lovely boo release. And you can see the posters off the wall. If the poster's not off the wall, you just have to suck the poster off. There, just pull out your vacuum and suck the poster off, and the button will be there when you hit it. And you again will have a little talk to you after this. Smash through the text. And a little bit longer talk in the lab because he wants to talk to you about all the boos and such you're gonna find now, which is what you just released. You just did the boo release, basically. And obviously he's gonna ask you where do you go, so you have to still do the hidden mansion thing, so keep that in mind. Don't just mash A and B through all that and say, whoops, I'm in normal mansion. Would not be good. I mean, it's not, in this case, it's not as big of a deal because, like, it's not any faster or slower. You could always save warp out of the third boo later and redo it, if you know what I mean. You go back and then do it. I can explain save warps later so that will make more sense. Anyway, you need 5 boos to unlock the next door. Like, if I go to the bathroom that I have to go to next to progress this game, it won't let me do it until 5 of the boos are gone. So we get the fastest 5 boos we can go. So we're backtracking back to the beginning of the game. And we go to Poller. And boo finding is an interesting thing, to say the least. It's also where the RNG comes into play, your reaction, how fast you can find them. All comes into play. I'll explain where all the spots are. There can be a boo here, in this, in the cloth, in this bookcase here, and in this cabinet. Nothing else. So don't worry about checking anything else. Just try to remember that 1, 2, 3, 4 is the only options that you have. So typically, like, I think the easiest beginner thing to do would be to, if you see a lump, which there was a lump under there earlier, which means he was under there because he switched out of it. If there's a lump under the table, the thing about the way this game works is that means there is a boo or a fake under the cloth. For some reason it reveals that in this game. If there is a lump under there, you would want to pull it off right away. Basically. Just pull it off right away. And then you would get a boo. to explain the boost strat. In fact, you know what I really need to do? I don't think I have any other save state up to this point. I didn't do a save state, so I'm going to get back through there again. I'm going to explain this just in case you need to review this. I'm going to explain this again just for the purposes of it all. Up left, C stick, in. Very nice. Just point directly toward the wall. Go up left, and double. Button press, and I'll just remember to save state. Next time I didn't, I'll get there. But I mean, repetition is the key, so that always helps. If you didn't want to see that again, you can always skip all the way to where I get to this next part. Won't be too worried about it. Nothing like seeing the boos twice in a row. Right? Gotta see them again. Also give me like a water break anyway. Also remember the alternating A and B thing, if you didn't already remember. Always remember. A and B every other time. I'm sure you guys got it though. Alright, so let's get a state. Alright, because we need to explain boost strats and stuff like that, and what happens if you don't. In this room, if you want to, you can go for it all the time, but if you get the tech skip, you want to like pull the cloth, you can go for this thing called a tech skip. Because, like you'll notice, if I get this boo, where this boo is, over here, he will get a text box. He also introduce himself and make like a boo pun. But he will give you this text, and again we'll talk to you about it for a while. And then you'll get a save box. Make sure that you press B when you get that too. You don't want to save, obviously. There's just a little second there. There's not a big save portion in this game unless you need to save warp. There's a couple exceptions when you need to save warp, but other than that, it's basically the same. But the boost strat itself, so when let's start with that. The boost strat is very simple. Basically you just have to hold the L button down the entire time and pump the R button every 10 health. Is all you need to do. The boos have like a clock, like a cackle clock that you'll hear each time I do that, basically. And they will cackle once each time if you don't like mess with the vacuum pattern. They can do that 15 times before they leave, no matter what. So you can, the locked in place strat that we do will only keep them there, locked in place for those 15 cackles, and then he will leave in whatever direction he feels, or whatever one you kind of lead him to. Even then it's kind of sketchy, he kind of does what he wants. Sometimes it depends. Yeah, anyway, so like, here's a good example. Like, you see there's no cloth under there. You can pull this cloth off and get it like half off if you see that happen, or almost all the way off in my case, apparently. I'm gonna go back out and respawn the cloth real quick. You can get what's called like a tech skip, because I'll explain why that happens once I get it here. So like right after the boo goes into the vacuum, the cloth goes in right after that. And what happens is the game finds the suck of the cloth more important and forgets about the text box that happened afterwards, and obviously you don't have to see it, so you save those, like, especially on the first text box, the first text box of the game with boos is really long. Saves quite a bit. There's also another tech skip strap from the other side of the table, but I wouldn't worry about that as a beginner. I'll worry about that later. I still don't even need to do that now. But yeah, you know, you want to pull off the cloth. And if you get this RNG, when you pull off the cloth, you do want to hit this object right after that, because that is an option, obviously. And then you want to check this and check this. If you have a boot in it, just get the cloth right away. There's no cloth, we can get the cloth. This, and then we'll just walk over here. Check this. Oh, he can also be in the painting too, I did not say that. He can be in the top painting above the bookcase as well. Sorry, I did not mention that. You can always go for the tech skip even if there's a lump there if you really, really want to. Obviously. Which is kind of what the other tech skip from the other side utilizes. Alright, let me see if I can get one that doesn't have the, or has the cloth in it, so if we can react to that. We need one with the lump in the cloth. Why don't we get the non-lump all the time, Kappa? It may already be predetermined, I don't know. It may be. Okay. Well, you can pull the cloth off and do this. And go right for it like that. It may even be better to go for the tech skip first, because the only bad thing about that is if you pull the cloth off right away. This is pretty bad if he's over there. But yeah, you always want to check like these spots as fast as you can. But yeah, you can be in the painting as well, so just keep that in mind. I did not mention that. I guess now he went in the cloth, or went over here. Where did he go? Switched into that. Yeah, I think that's enough explaining. Obviously you want to get back to this door because we're going over here for the next move as well. Even if you have the text mash through it, if you don't mash through it. Because there'll be nothing to mash through, just walk directly to the door. So in this room you have 3 spawns. You have 1, 2, 3 little stands here. That's all your spawns. Pretty simple read, really. Just hit the first one. If he's in that, pull out your vacuum. And just do the boost strat. And get yourself back to the door. If he's not in there, very simply just hit this one. If he's not in that one, just hit this one. And I don't think I've gotten like a fake boo yet. But there's always 2 different objects in every room. There's a fake and a real boo. I'm guaranteed I'll get it at some point. But, alright, so we're going into wardrobe, right? We'll use the safe state wardrobe. There's 4 spawns here. There's this, each of the 3 wardrobes, and then the shoe rack. If there's nothing flashing when you walk in the door on the boo radar, which is the little yellow radar, a little bleep above the Game Boy Horror there, I didn't mention that earlier, that beeps, and it beeps more and more and more the closer you are to a boo or a fake boo, one or the other. Because it does it for both. It doesn't know the difference between the 2. You just know whether or not one of the 2 is in it, which I can actually show because the fake move over here, if you have something in the beginning part though, and something blinks, and it just blinks, then you can check the shoe rack here. And the boo is in there. This boo has enough life that you can just hold down L and kind of lead him out. If you're not comfortable with leading him out, and don't be afraid to like pump. There's not much of a time loss, frame time loss maybe. So you know that's a fake. See what happens when a fake ball comes out, you just get it trolled basically. And it is a little bit faster to mirror warp out of this room as opposed to walking all the way back down. So we will do that. And don't save there like I did, but I don't have to worry about that. What kind of what I'm doing anyway. So in order to mirror warp in this game, I don't think we've done this yet. In order to mirror warp in this game, you have to turn around, bring out your Game Boy Horror, and press A on a mirror, and you will do this spinning animation and spin yourself back to the lobby again. And you'll be back at the beginning. And then the next two rooms you want to get to are... There's nothing in the bathroom, the first one you went to, so just go right here. Not even sure if that would be faster if there was. I guess. And you don't want to get this boo first, you want to get it second, so just walk right on by. And all the boo spawns of this room are basically in the boxes. All these boxes, a load of 6 of them there. So you just pull out your vacuum and kind of point into them. And just switch from one corner to the other corner and you'll get all the spawns. It's amazing that I keep getting all first try boos without trying, it's amazing. But that would be like a good RNG situation if you get it first try, bad RNG if you don't, or bad luck, good RNG. So once you get that boo, you want to go back to the store. And if you see any blinking, you can spawn these two things. If there's not, you can just spawn over here. I always do the painting last. Some people can do the painting before that. If you want, I always prefer to do the painting last. And obviously after you get to the boo, you go back to the door. You can also lead them back to the door as well, which is another option there as well. And you'll get a little bit longer of a text, you'll get a short text, and then he'll like let you know a little bit more info, and that means you have the 5 boos that you need to go to the next part. Basically. And I think I'll finish this part once you get the key. The bathroom we need to go to is straight up. So we'll make sure we're pointed in the middle so we don't get scared by any of the hanging ghosts or anything. Or don't be like me and get hit by a mouse. That's what happens. Just in case you didn't think there was anything there and you get hit by a mouse, that can happen. It's not a big deal if it happens, it's okay. It's only a second to beginner, it'll be okay. Not a big deal, just keep working on it until you get yourself to avoid that type of thing. I mean, depth perception is pretty hard with these hallways, so I mean, you know. Anyway, this is the bathroom we need to go to. Let's go to this door. And you want to do the toilet. Not do the toilet, but literally like activate it, have the Luigi hit the toilet, and then you can get the key out of the toilet, and then you'll mirror warp back again because it's faster to mirror warp. So just turn around and press X and A again on the mirror, and you'll get back to this. I think that's where I'll stop for this part here. That was pretty good info. So we will finish or get the meat of this area 2 in on the next section. See you guys next time.